What is up YouTube, KM888 here, and I'm back here for you guys with an updated version of my Onomat Ryzeal deck list. Ban list is hitting today or tomorrow, I don't know. We've already seen it all, and most of the decks are dead. Are we a winner of this? Yes, I do believe so. Droll Lockbird has been hit to 2, which means that in this format where Mitsurugi isn't as viable anymore, I believe the top decks are going to be like Draco Tail, K9 Vanquish Soul, K9 Crystron, Radiant Typhoon. It's probably the top 4 decks. Droll Lockbird isn't as viable as it was in the last format. And on top of that, the card is at 2. So we're not going to see Droll and Lock as much as before. And thus, I have changed my deck list a bit. Now, am I playing any of the new cards from the new set? Not at the moment. I have looked into Forbidden Crown, but I came to the realization that as long as Eniacraft isn't fully in the format, as well as Kultune, because Kultune and Eniacraft are kind of special, but as long as those two aren't in the top decks, you aren't forced into playing Forbidden Crown and Droplet in the main deck. So up till then, you don't need those, which is actually kind of nice. So let's get into the deck profile. I will mostly explain the changes and just go over my engine parts or non-engine parts, and then I'll just get into the changes. First things first, of course, triple Dodo Warrior, still the Gogo Goblinberg, double Onomatakage, Gambara Knight, and the Zubaba. This is standard at the moment. I don't believe you have to play the Gogo Glove. Playing 2 Onomat just gives you more versatility. Sure, you miss out on one body, but that doesn't even matter. You have so many bodies, you rather cut the brick, so yeah. Next up, the triple Onomatopera, the Onomata Pickup. I still stand by this card. This is such an important card, especially when you're using other monsters than level 4, because just being able to put everything to level 4 is really important. And then, on top of this, I'm also playing 1 Reinforcement of the Army. This card can actually search 3 cards in the deck. It can search Goblinberg, which is a 1-card starter, which means Reinforcement of the Army. Also a 1-card starter, gives you an additional starter, and it gives you an additional extender, because if you already started the combo and they interrupt you, Reinforcement of the Army can go into one of these 2, and then you can just continue your combo as is, which is important. Now, why am I playing this suddenly? As I said, Drone Lock, probably not in the format at the moment, or not as much, especially not in main decks, I think. And you can actually attempt to play a little bit more search cards now, which are also viable cards to side out going second. Like, not a problem at all. And then the last card for the Onomat engine is the Unbreakable Exceed Barrier. I feel that playing this in the main is just a staple. You have to. It's an amazing card to stop anything threatening your end board. So yeah. For Riseals, I'm on double ice, X'd. Only 1 sword now. I'll explain that in a little bit. Note and star. And then I am back to playing the Bonfire and Riseal Cross. So I was playing this deck, and every time I opened the Sword Riseal, I was like, oh my god, I just wish it was Ice or X. It just sucks to have to normal summon your Sword Riseal, because if this gets stopped, it's so much worse. But because Draw and Lock, again, isn't as much in the format, I decided to put back in the Bonfire. Like last time when I took it out, I specifically said that it was because of Draw and Lock. Sure, the Riseal engine isn't the most important part of this deck, but it does offer a couple of rank 4 plays, which is really important. Now, if you have to look, and you can start with either Sword or Bonfire, what would you like to start with? Well, in this scenario, you go Bonfire, and you can search X, and you can special X, and even if X gets stopped, you still have a normal summoned, which means that even a Fualos or something could give you full combo. And that's the important thing here. So there is a distinct difference in running 2 sword and no bonfire, or running 1 sword and 1 bonfire. Now, I still could run 2 swords, no, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to keep the deck at 40. So right at the moment, the deck count is at 40, which is amazing in a deck like this, because you just see your Ash, you see your Fualos, you often see Call by the Grave even, because in a 40 card deck, it's like 10% chance to see a one-off, which is actually nice. You see your cards way more often. I tried to cut the star. It's just terrible. Like, you really want the star for an additional body, which gets to cross, because otherwise you'd have to go and search cross and you lose out of like 3 bodies or something, which is kind of sad. It kind of seems like a win more still, so there might be an opportunity in the future where I actually cut the star and I'm just like, okay, I just have to search for cross node, go from there. But right now, I still think that this is necessary, running the extra brick. I am going to test that out, by the way. So, like, not running the Star Ryzeal, and to see if I can actually just play the combo without doing this. It might cost me the draws that I get throughout the combo, like with Emerald or the Gares, especially like the cross as well. But maybe it's worth it to not run the additional brick. So, yeah. But anyway, the bonfire and the reinforcement of the army are probably the biggest changes in the engine part. Just because I search more now, and I really do not want to play 7 Tachyon, because playing 7 Tachyon means that I have to run something in my extra deck, and I already don't have any spots. When I'm going over the extra deck, I'll tell you guys which cards you could consider cutting, but I wouldn't recommend that, and I wouldn't recommend playing anything else but these 15 cards, so yeah. Engine, pretty easy. Triple Ash Blossom, triple Fualos, double Perulia. I really wanted to run 3 Perulia, but I mean, the card isn't that great against Dragotail. It's amazing against K9 decks, of course. And I'm still siding the 3rd one, but I needed to cut 1 card to put the deck at 40. And if I had to look at my entire engine and non-engine, I wanted to cut from the non-engine, and yeah, Perulia just was the card to be cut, because I can easily put that in my side for going second against the right decks. It was the least valuable card in here, so yeah. Next up, triple Izuna, the 1 Lupus, double Nibiru. I actually think Nibiru is undervalued this format. There isn't a lot of decks that actually put up negates before the 5th summon. And on top of that, if you play this card together with a lot of hand traps, Nibiru just gets way better. Against the Dracotail matchup, it also often comes up where I open Izuna plus Nibiru, and you just wait till the end, because you have nothing, like, they have nothing that can stop your Izuna Nip play anyways. And then when they attempt to leave their main phase and they have all their trap set, you can go Izuna into Lupus, overlay into Velon. Velon, you can book something that you don't want them to revive. Like, you could book the Gulamel, for instance, so they cannot revive it when 2 monsters are sent to the graveyard at once. But afterwards, you can just nip their entire board, the rest that they have. And because the Velon goes to the graveyard, you can pop the most threatening trap as well, which is actually really nice to do. Let's try for the... Oh my god, the light is crazy. It doesn't matter. But these are the monster hand traps. And then I am also, of course, running triple Nibiru. Triple Impermanence, sorry. To go alongside the double Nibiru, you might think, which is already a really great combo, because you can break boards really easy with that. But this is mostly in here because K9 is very prominent in this meta. So stopping K9 or Roy is really important, and if you go with Imperm over Ash in that situation, it's actually way better because they cannot trigger Izuna, they cannot trigger Lupus, and it's way harder for deck to actually continue playing. Imperm is really, really good against K9 decks. And when you hit the Dracotail deck, if you just imperm the Arthur Lion, they don't get their cards back from the graveyard, which means that sure you're getting your traps, you're getting some spells maybe, but all your resources are gone. So if I break your board once now, it's over. And that's most of the time the game plan of this deck against Dracotail. Imperm the Arthur Lion so they don't get their cards back, and then you break their board. So at that point you just win. And then the final card of the deck is Call by the Grave. Call by is just way too good to cut. I did cut the Crossout, I did cut the Talents. Crossout, I mean, the best thing that I could hit with Crossout was Draw and Lock. And that doesn't, like, I don't care that they Fuami in general. On top of that, Talents, I felt was pretty bad this format, because if you look at the meta decks, Radiant Typhoon hardly plays any hand traps. Dracotail hardly plays any hand traps. The K9 Crystron deck, it kind of plays some hand traps, but it has a large engine as well, so there's like... There weren't the best odds of actually being able to use Talons going first, and going second it just didn't seem to be as powerful anymore. So I decided to cut down the Talents for now. I might put it in the side or something, but right now my side is also pretty much fixed. So yeah, that was actually the main deck. It's 40 cards, sharp. Actually pretty good. Let's go into the extra deck. Extra deck hasn't changed one bit. At the moment, I still think this is the best extra deck to run this deck with. So we have the one Utopic Future Zexal, Gaga Gaga Girl, Gaga Gaga Magician. I really hope, like, there's one more wave of the full art cards that we're going to get. And I really hope that the last cards that they're going to reveal for the for this archetype is going to be a Gaga Gaga Exceed. That would be really, really good. And then hopefully something better than the girl even. So so we can just cut the Magician then. So I would like that. I would like that a lot. Duo Drive, Detonator, of course. These are just the standard that you need. For rank 4s, we have the Dugaris, we have Emerald. Exiton, I still stand by this card. It steals games where it shouldn't. Baguska, because your end boards like Utopic Future Zexal, Detonator, Baguska. Check out my channel if you want to see some combos. They don't change after the ban list. So Eclipse Twins, Scar is just the nuts. And then Valon, Ripper, Typhon, Zeus, and SP Little Knight. I do believe that the SP Little Knight is the one flex spot in the deck, but you just need it. If you go Izuna into Lupus in your opponent's turn, you maybe you have a Nibiru. It's pretty easy to actually go into SP Little Knight before doing all your combos, and having the SP at that point is very, very valuable. Although if I really need to, depending on the format and how it's going, I might cut this for something else that I need. Maybe a Light Dragon at Ignister, maybe a Tornado Dragon, who knows. I don't know for now. But for now, the SP Little Knight is performing, so it's definitely staying in here for now. That was the extra deck. Let's go over the side deck. So first things first, the third Perulia. I think this is obvious. You want to side this in against every K9 deck. You want to side this in against the Radiant Typhoon. Just having the third Perulia at that point is kind of crucial. You want to see either Fua, either Perulia, or maybe even the Droll and Lockbirds. So I still side them. I think they're great in some matchups. Just being able to stop your opponent's play. You need 8 cards. So you have the 6 Mulcharmies, you have the 2 Droll and Locks. That's just whatever you need. Next up, I'm playing 2 Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. These come in against the Dracotail matchup going second, of course, because you need more cards to stop the traps. But there are other matchups, of course, where you want to see these. They are actually pretty decent cards, but they're, in my eyes, in this deck at least, not the best at the moment. But whenever you're going second against Dracotail, you want to have those outs for the trap cards. So I already have some good ways to dodge things in my main deck. Also, with the Exiton, it's really, really easy to actually break their board. Triple Retaliating Sea. You just want to have them. I was debating on cutting them, but I like just having it. It's amazing. Like if you see, this card can be used against Dracotail. It can be used against the Q-Tune deck, because if they use the spell, you can actually chain Retaliating Sea, and if they decide to synchro, everything gets banished, so they don't trigger their effects, which is actually really good. And this is a level 4, so even if it gets stuck on the field, you just have to normal summon something, and then you can overlay into any rank 4. So this card is so good. But that's it for the monsters in the site. Then we have Feather Duster and triple Forbidden Droplet. So the same thinking like with the bells. You just site this in against everything that you need. Like if you go up against the Dracotail deck, they have a lot of trap cards. Any combination of having like Bell, Ash, Duster, Droplets, that's just so crucial. Like you just out their entire backline, and knowing that there's like the branded spell, the quick play, there could be Impums, there could be Droplet as well, maybe Forbidden Crown in this format. It is just so crucial to just say like, okay, Duster, oh, you try to flame it, goes Bell, GG. Could be really, really good. And then the last card in the side deck is kind of special. So, 3 Grave of the Super Ancient Organisms. And hear me out. All level 6 or higher special summoned monsters on the field cannot declare attacks or activate their effects. If you go up against branded Dracotail, they don't really have an out for this, except the things that target. So if you go up, like if you go first and you have this on top of your regular board, like the regular board doesn't even need to be complete. Like you have the Utopic Zexal, which prevents targeting, so they cannot target this card. You have the Riseal part, which means Detonator plus Cross. So as soon as they try to pop this with Urgula, you can just negate it. This card is actually pretty good. If you have this alongside your protection card, you just win the game outright. Because they cannot out this, and then they cannot use their fusion monsters. Next deck, you go up against the Crystron deck, for instance, the K9 Crystron deck, and you have this. That deck synchro summons, so they're level 7. Yeah, sure, that card won't do a thing. They try to Tristaros you in the follow-up turn, in the clapback. Yeah, you're making a level 9 synchro. That's not going to do anything. So you only have to deal with the rank 5 engine, which is actually a lot easier to do than if you have to play around everything. Next up, the Radiant Typhoon matchup. Okay, the little ones, the level 3s. What, they have like 1600 attack? I don't think that's going to be that difficult. The real threat of that deck is that bird, the one that bounces, and the monster effect negation. Those are both high-level monsters. You can just stop them with the Grave Super Ancient Organism. Sure, they can hit the field. They're not going to do anything. That's the most important part. You can just stop the easy rank 3 plays. That's really not gonna hurt you, and then the Grave Super Ancient Organism is actually going to stop their plays pretty decent. And you might think, yo, they play MST. This card is going to be outed so quickly. Doesn't matter at all, right? You have this beautiful Utopic Future Zexal, which prevents targeting. You can only target this guy, sir. Please, you cannot target my Grave Super Ancient Organism. This card's the only thing you can target. Oh, you have an MST. Well, I don't think it matters. You cannot target this, so... They already need some combination of cards to actually beat this. So just having the one card, so they need multiples, is amazing. And then, of course, imagine you do have to play against the Kultun, the Enneacraft. Enneacraft especially. The level 1s, you don't care about those. You care about those high level ones. Flip Grave Super Ancient Organism. Oh, there are still special summoned monsters that are level 8, 9, what is it? Yeah, they cannot activate, so sorry. So this card is actually really good in a lot of matchups right now. And even if the opponent is still on some sort of Mitsurugi, a Fiendsmith deck, the Fiendsmith Fusion, like Desiree, is also like level 8. The little fusion that they just brought out of the banlist is level 6. They can't trigger on field. The Mitsurugi cards are all level 8, the rituals, so they cannot trigger on field. It's actually really fun to use this going first, and I think this might be an overlooked card in this meta right now. But yeah, I'm going to play this. The only card in the entire deck that cannot do a thing after it's hit the board is my Nibiru. So I don't even know where it is. It's over here. So the Nibirus, they cannot attack when they hit the field. Oh no, they cannot attack. Such a shame. If I need to be able to let my Nibiru attack, I can even change its level to 4. So it doesn't even matter at all. Yeah, I do think these cards are actually going to break the meta in some form. I've already ordered my my QCRs, so they are in the mail. I hope I'll get them soon. And yeah, that's the deck. I hope you guys like that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao!